Welcome to the important information that you have chosen to learn for your healing journey today. Know that you had the strength in this moment to decide to care for yourself by gaining and using this knowledge. That is an act of love you should be both proud of and grateful for yourself. Keep loving yourself. I believe in you. So I was about to do a visualization, but I decided to record this for everybody. I am getting some symptoms right now, and instead of focusing on them, I'm going to do this instead. And just a disclaimer, I am not a medical professional, I am not a therapist, I'm not a professional in any way, so always seek medical attention when something is happening to you. This is just something that I personally do for myself, and it helps me feel better. So while I'm feeling this, I like to close my eyes and I like to relax my entire body. My shoulders, every part of my body. Sometimes I first go through and scan my body and relax every single part of it, all the way from my head down to my toes. And I like to make sure that I am upright, because that will give my body the energy. It'll help me not fall asleep when I'm doing this. I don't want to fall asleep. I want to be conscious, and I want to actually do the work. So the way I think of this is, whenever we practice something, anything, it builds neural pathways in our brains. And that is exactly what I want to do right now. Instead of building the neural pathways of, oh no, this is happening, what am I going to do, or this hurts, or anything like that, I like to build the neural pathways using visualizations to not only calm my body, but to tell it, this is the pathway that we're going to go down when we're feeling this. We're going to go down using our senses and feeling fantastic using them, focusing on colors and sounds and tastes and comforts that we like, smells that we like, and that we are okay when we're doing that. That, to me, is building that new neural pathway, and the more we practice it, the stronger it becomes. So the way I think of it is, I picture in my brain this old neural pathway that has been built for so long. Something happens in my body, and my brain thinks pain, my brain thinks whatever the symptom is, dizziness, something else. But what I'm saying is, when whatever it is that happens that causes you to go down that pathway, I'm going to give you a new pathway. And the way I picture it in my brain is, the old pathway is kind of this dull gray, kind of fading out, kind of, moving backwards and shortening. And if you look up videos of neurons that are forming, you can see what they actually look like. And so I think of the opposite. I think of them going back and not forming. And then I picture what I'm giving my brain, the neural pathways that I'm creating while I'm doing these visualizations. I picture them in gold. And I picture them the way that those videos of neurons forming look. That really helps me. And you can picture that in any way that you want. And so right now, I am going to feel this pain that I have. I have this pain all over my head and neck and stuff. I'm going to actually feel it. And I'm going to get out of my mind being afraid of it, the negativity that I think and feel, and I'm just going to sit with it. I'm going to take deep breaths. I'm going to relax my whole body. And I'm going to tell my brain, this is how I can feel when this happens. And through this, I'm going to think, the point of this is not to get rid of the symptoms necessarily, although if it does, great. I will be very happy. If it doesn't get rid of it, at least I'm building that neural pathway, the new one. And at least the other one is starting to dissolve. And when you think of it this way, that's how our brains learn. When we are learning literally anything, we're building these new neural pathways and they get stronger. If I'm reading, if we're riding a bike, if we're learning something new at work, or literally anything, that's what our brains do. So that's what we are doing right now. We're teaching it this. And the more we practice, the stronger those pathways become. So after relaxing, I'm going to tell myself to not think about it in those negative ways anymore. And now this is what I'm going to think about instead, regardless of how I physically or emotionally feel. Right now, I am sitting outside. I am sitting under this awning at a little round table. The little round table is, I think, made out of some kind of metal, and so is the chair. And on the table is this nice, warm-looking green tablecloth. And on my chair, on the back of this metal chair and where I'm sitting, there's a cushion, and it's also this beautiful green color. I'm outside of, it's a little kind of coffee shop / restaurant. And the awning above me is made out of wood. And the wood is cut so that there's little square openings in all of it. And in between these square openings, there's this ivy that's growing in between it. It's this dark green color. And it reminds me of the tablecloth and the seat cushion. And this ivy intertwining in between the wooden cutouts in these squares. There are lemons and limes just hanging down a little bit or put in between some of the square holes. And I just look up at it and it's so pretty. Inside, they told me that they actually use the lemons and the limes to make some of their breads and scones, and they use it to make this lemon curd and lime curd that they give you with some of the scones and the breads. And I think that's wonderful. There's no waste here. That makes me really happy. It makes me happy that I chose this place, and it makes me happy and comfortable that I'm sitting here right now, looking at these beautiful colors. It's nice and crisp outside. It's just cool enough that I'm wearing long sleeves and long pants. And all around, there's just a few tables out here, maybe 6, all around. There are these big metal poles. And on the top of them, there are heaters. And all throughout the poles, there are these little holes so that you can feel the heat coming from them. And they have the heat on the perfect temperature for me. So even though it's this crispness outside and I have a long sleeve shirt and long pants on and comfy shoes, I can also feel the warmth of these heaters around me. When I was inside before, I ordered a warm drink. I'm looking at the cup. The cup is a mug, and it's in the shape of like a perfect semicircle. The mug is black, and it has indentations about the size of my thumb all around it, all around this semicircle. And the handle comes out and it's in a really unique shape. And I just think it looks so cool. It's rounded, but it's kind of weaves in and out a little bit, almost like the perfect grip for your hand. And I pick it up. It's a little bit heavy because it has my drink in it. And with my right hand, I'm gripping the handle. And with my left hand, I'm kind of caressing this mug. And I feel how nice and warm my drink is. And I put it up to my mouth. And I can feel the warmth up on my top lip and my nose and my face. And I just linger like this for a while. And then I take a sip. And the sip is warm. I can feel this drink in my mouth. And when I swallow it, I can feel it going down my throat. And down my chest and into my belly. It feels so nice. I feel so relaxed. I have had my eyes closed while I was sipping, and then I open them again and I just look around again at the beautiful lemons and limes. There's a person working inside. They come out and they're so friendly. They have on a black and white outfit. It's a white shirt, long sleeves with a collar. They have a black apron around their waist and black pants, and they're smiling. They bring out what I ordered. I just wanted to come here and have a treat. I didn't really want to order lunch or anything else, just because I know that this place is known for their desserts and their breads and their scones and the lemons and limes. And I ordered a blueberry scone. They put it down in front of me. It's on a white plate, and I can hear the plate clank. And we're looking at each other, and they ask me if I need anything else, and I say, no, this is absolutely perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And we just share this moment together, this smile. And they nod their head and they say, all right, enjoy, as they put their hands out. And I see them walk back inside. I look at my scone and I'm smiling. I'm so happy. So happy. I admire it for a moment. It sits there on the white plate, and I had to try the lemon and the lime curd. I just had to. So on this round white plate with the scone where I can see the blueberries just all throughout it. Next to it is the lime curd and the lemon curd, and they're both sort of on the same side of the plate. They're on the left side, but there's space in between them so that they don't mix unless you want them to. I have a white napkin next to the plate, and it has these silver utensils on it, a fork, a knife, and a spoon. But I kind of just want to use my hands for this. I don't want to use the utensils. And I have the napkin anyways, if I need it. So I pick up the scone with my right hand, and I think, which one do I want to dip it into first? I think I'm going to try the lime curd. The lime curd is this little plop, and it's a very light lime color. Of course it's a lime color, right? Very light green color. And holding the scone, and it feels warm too. And I dip it down into the lime curd, and I can see it on the edge of the long triangle. I pick it up, and I admire it. I admire the colors, the blueberries, the round blueberries and their color, and the lime color. And I just take a bite. I close my eyes and I eat it mindfully. I put the scone down on the plate, and I taste all of the wonderful flavors. I taste the tartness and the sweetness of the lime. It goes absolutely perfectly with the blueberry flavor. And the scone that's buttery. The texture is fantastic. It's a little bit dense, but not too dense where I can chew it and it melts in my mouth. It's a burst of flavor. It's wonderful. I can see why this place was recommended by so many, and it has, 5 stars and everything. It's so yummy. I do the same with the lemon curd. I pick up the scone, and now I can see where I bit it, the little semicircle. And I dip that part of it into the lemon curd, and the lemon curd is nice and soft, and it's plopped on there again. It's this yellow color, not too bright, almost like a faded out yellow. And this time I keep my eyes open. As I take this wonderful bite, I can taste the difference in the lemon from the lime. And as I'm doing this, I'm looking up at the lemons and the limes up on this awning with the ivy on it. And I'm chewing it, and it tastes so good. I put the scone down on the plate, and I take a moment to scan where I am as I'm tasting this flavor. I scan the outside. I look at the awning. I turn my head and I look at the door. It's this door framed in black. And the windows on the building. I feel the calmness in my shoulders, in my chest, my belly. I feel the calmness and the peace in my neck and my head. All the way down to my toes. I feel this everywhere, this peace. I look at the green tablecloth and I feel this green seat under me. The padding, it's so comfortable. I feel so happy. I feel so good. This is all wonderful. And I take deep breaths so that all of these wonderful feelings and these colors, they are a part of me. They are a part of these beautiful golden neurons that I just formed for myself. I did this. I'm so happy for myself. I'm so honored that I can do this, and I feel so strong. I feel like such a strong person for doing this. I know I am. I think of my brain, I think of these neurons forming, and I think of those other ones that formed kind of by accident. I see them. They're retreating. They're retreating as the beautiful golden ones are forming all these different branches. And I know that the next time I practice this, they're going to form even more. And I know that every single time I might feel or think something negative, that I can redirect and I can think of these neurons, and every time I do that they're going to keep growing. And I know that I am not perfect, and I don't have to be perfect for this practice, and that's okay. I'm happy with myself. I'm happy that I did this practice. And I'm still so proud of myself, even that I'm not perfect. And now I'm going to breathe. I'm going to take all those wonderful thoughts, the visualization, and those wonderful thoughts about myself, and they're going to be a part of me as I breathe. That's a real memory that I just formed and that you just formed as you did this practice with me. Something that I forgot to mention, because I'm not perfect, is that the best thing that I believe to do is to say that out loud. Move around while you're doing it. It really makes it into a real memory. And the reason that it makes it into a real memory is because anything that you're thinking and visualizing and saying out loud, it doesn't really matter if it's not really happening, because you have made it happen. That's what we do in real life when something's happening to us. we're thinking about it. We're forming something. So we formed a real memory. When I say, try not to think of a yellow banana, you immediately thought of a yellow banana. That it formed in your brain. You just formed neurons that thought about a yellow banana. So that's real. It's a real memory that you thought of that yellow banana. So our visualization that we just did is a real memory, and it has affected our brains and our bodies and the way that we have just felt. So you did that practice and you should be proud of yourself. I am getting rid of the program that has formed in my neurons, what my body and my mind think should be happening, that I should be getting this pain or the anxiety when whatever is happening to me, whatever is happening in my body that my brain thinks that this should be the result of that. It's getting rid of that and giving it something else. As that becomes stronger, scientifically, according to these experts, and I believe logic and science, those pathways will become stronger. That is the point of this. The more we practice it, those pathways are going to become stronger. So I hope this has helped you. It helps me. Sometimes I have to go back to these videos and remind myself of this. And now, because I did this and because I'm proud of myself, throughout the day, I'm going to stop myself when I have the negative thoughts. I'm going to say, you know what? When I feel this, stop. No. Don't have the negative thoughts about it. Go back and think of what you're proud of for yourself doing. Go back and think of this memory that you just formed instead. And that's also going to gray out those unwanted neurons. And that's going to help form the golden ones that we're forming. There's so many things we can do. So in the comments, I would love to hear what your ideas for doing this as well are. To stop ourselves from ruminating on it, to stop ourselves from thinking the negative thoughts about it. That goes with this practice. It's just as important. And it's really hard, I know, because it can constantly happen. If I'm feeling this all day, I'm constantly going to think about it, but it is my goal to also constantly, when I remember, take a deep breath, stop myself, and think of what I just did instead. It's going to make me have a better day no matter what. Let me know your ideas. Thank you for being here. We have each other. I just thought of 2 more things that I forgot to mention. Not perfect. The first thing is that you might have noticed that my voice was shaking a little bit when I was doing the visualization or any part of it. And I actually had tears rolling down my face a little bit. And that's great. I was really feeling emotional. I was feeling good emotions. I was happy that I was there. I was happy about the tastes and the colors and the warmth and the crisp air. That is so powerful. That is forming these neurons. And I would suggest, that was kind of a very generic thing to think about. If you want to experience the same thing, I would suggest either thinking of something that's very, very important to you. either something that's important that you wanted to achieve, or something or someone that's important to you, a real memory or a memory that you're making up, either from the past or the future. You can create these things. And if that doesn't happen to you, that's okay too. But I wanted to mention that because it's a good thing. That's helping to form those new neurons. And the other thing that I wanted to mention was that I had forgotten. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to mention, when I laughed before, I thought that's actually one of the things that I try to do when I am having those negative thoughts. Instead of ruminating on those, one of the things that I do is I start laughing, and I might look like a crazy person, but when I'm physically feeling something or emotionally feeling something, this isn't toxically trying to be happy or toxically wearing, rose-colored glasses. It's just something to focus on something else in that moment. We're allowed to feel what we want to feel. We are allowed to be upset about things. Trust me, this is hard. This is hard. However you're living and the things that are difficult for you, they are hard. And we have to acknowledge that, and we have to talk about it. So I'm not saying to ignore that very important thing. But what I'm saying is that it does help me, and it does help form those new neurons. If we're doing all of these practices together, say I'm feeling something like I am right now, and I'm starting to think something negative, instead I'll just laugh. I'll just give myself that laughter for a moment. And it does help. It does help. And you can do it with somebody else. My daughter and I used to get so scared of this one thing that would always cause me to have these horrible symptoms. I was so scared of it all the time. And so my daughter and I together, we started pointing at it and laughing anytime I saw it. And it actually has taken the fear out of it. It really has made a difference. And taking that fear away has been such a big part of how my day goes. So I can acknowledge that it might have been a negative thing for me. It might have been scary, but I've done the work now that has taken the fear away, and I can have a better day when that happens. So again, let us know what you've done. We can acknowledge everything in our lives. We can acknowledge when something's hard, and we can acknowledge when we've done the work to change things at the same time. I really feel that.